Hello to my fellow peace seekers. Today, I wanted to share some advice that I got about a year ago that honestly kind of saved my marriage. It was incredibly valuable advice. And I know if you're in a relationship or you're just a person, there's a ton of advice out there that's like solicited or unsolicited that is not necessarily helpful and valuable. This advice that I got, I genuinely would recommend to anyone at any stage in their relationship. Even though my husband and I have only been married for 3 years and together for 7, I feel like this advice is applicable to any person, no matter what stage of life they're in, and no matter what relationship stage they're in as well. I don't know about you, but I personally agree with the idea and the sentiment that marriage is hard. A lot of people like to counter that by saying that marriage is not hard. It should not be hard. In an ideal world, marriage would not be hard. But personally, I kind of feel like if you were not given the resources to value and prioritize mental, emotional, physical stability, and you come from a home where that is not stressed to you, marriage may be a little bit hard because it is for the individuals that are physically, mentally, emotionally, financially stable. And if they're not given that, they have to grow in that. So that's personally why I believe that marriage is hard, why a relationship is hard. In knowing that, I do see why the top relationship advice, marriage advice, is that communication is key. And I remember when I was first told that, I kind of felt like, well, duh. Isn't communication key in like every aspect of life in order to be successful? But, I do appreciate it. It just is a little bit hard to value the advice of communication being key because it feels very vague, especially when you feel like you're doing your best to communicate and so does your partner, but your communication styles are conflicting and kind of difficult. So, when my husband and I went to couples therapy, guilty, we went to couples therapy, we were in there. Before I get into the advice, let me tell you about what sparked the advice. So, while my husband and I were in couples therapy, it kind of quickly was revealed that I'm very anxiously attached and he's very much avoidant attached. We just didn't really have healthy communication.
Okay. Actually, it was healthy. It just wasn't always completely transparent because I was too anxious and he was avoiding things that were necessary to say and to feel.
And we would occasionally, but it wouldn't be consistent. So the thing that our therapist recommended was for as often as we like, have one dedicated hour to spend simply talking about things that are emotional, talking through things that are focused on not only conflict resolution, but emotional vulnerability. It has to be one dedicated hour. We can't have any distractions. Not even our cat is like allowed in our room when we're doing it. It has to be a kind of like comfortable, welcoming space for both of us to only talk about things that are on our mind from the past week, maybe even years, that are hard to bring up normally. It has to be dedicated to things that are emotionally intense, emotionally driven, things that we want the other person to know or things that we would like to ask the other person. We have been doing this for the past, I want to say, year, and it really, really has helped, not only in terms of communicating through conflict, but if at any moment I'm feeling a little bit down or if there's something that I do want to talk about, it allows us to have a space where we're not going into a conversation where we're going to be accusing each other or talking down to, it just removes the feeling of tension and allows it to be simply a vulnerable space. Of course, we still argue. Of course, we still say things that like potentially could be regrettable. But when it comes to our dedicated hour with each other, it allows it simply to be a space where we talk about things that require vulnerability. And I feel like it really clears the air. Well, because it's such a nice space to be able to just talk to the person who's dedicated to hearing you. That's the thing is, I feel like I've always known that my husband was very dedicated to hearing me and listening to me. But whenever there are emotions, like when emotions are running high and the tension is high as well, it's really hard to genuinely hear each other. So just having a room and a space where that is completely welcome and encouraged it's just the best. It just helped my marriage so much. It's made me feel so incredibly happy and valued in our little relationship. I do recommend this to anyone of any age at any stage, just because I haven't really heard that advice ever. I've heard random little vague things, but that is something that has provided so much value to me that I just want to tell every person about it. Let me know if you have a piece of advice, if you're married, if you're not married, that you would like to share with me. I would very much appreciate it and find a lot of value. Wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever time of day it is, I hope you have a valuable morning, afternoon, or night.